Offshore needs to rethink how projects are being developed. When the oil price was high, the cost of the project was secondary. Focus was really only on maximizing production. The present market conditions offer an opportunity to rethink how projects must be developed. The cost factor certainly has become of utmost importance. I believe in the long run that will really help the industry becoming more competitive again. On the marine side, there is a need worldwide for cleaner energy. Driven by the shale gas revolution in North America, large quantities of LNG are becoming available on the market, so this is really providing huge opportunities for the marine sector. At present, we see gas prices worldwide are low. Europe competes with pipeline gas, Far East prices are still very much oil-driven, but the expectations are that higher oil prices will fully restore the arbitrage opportunities that North American shale gas is offering. So the prospect for gas shipping seems bright. Not only for the transportation of LNG, but also for LPG and new products like ethane that are associated with shale oil and shale gas production. At the same time, we need to acknowledge that traditional markets for LNG are getting saturated. So key will be to develop new markets. Many ship owners see in this opportunity to diversify, specifically into FSRUs. These offer distinct advantages for new developing markets. They're faster to market, easier to finance, and offer flexibility of supply. Adaptability is important. Initial floating liquefaction projects were focusing on large offshore gas fields. The first floating liquefaction project, Shell's Prelude, is the biggest offshore unit ever built, by far. This type of projects are really only in the reach of the biggest oil companies. Meanwhile, more projects start to focus on medium and even small scale, making the projects more affordable and financeable, bringing them in the reach of a larger group of players. Many projects are focusing on shale gas export even, where we see floating liquefaction following the trend of floating regasification, evolving from offshore stranded gas to at-shore or near-shore projects, just taking advantage of time and cost that building these units may offer compared to onshore development. It must be noted that given the large quantities of potentially cheap LNG coming on the market from onshore brownfield developments, the challenge for FLNG in the next decade will be really to ensure it is competitive with these new volumes. Again, rationalization will be really important going forward, coming to sensible industry standards rather than individual company standards, for instance, and standardizing the designs as much as possible. ABS has a long tradition in offshore, starting with the first modules in 1958. We classed the first offshore liquefied gas terminals. We classed the first LPG FSO in 1997 as Kravos, followed by the first LPG FPSO in 2005. These were effectively the first floating liquefied gas terminals. We have been, we issued our first rules for floating liquefied terminals as one of the first class societies back in 2004. And we are constantly working with the industry to identify their needs and addressing the new technologies. We are also working with, in several projects, FLNG, but also shipping on new technologies, new containment systems. And we have been classing some of the most recent containment systems on the market, like KC1, for instance. In ABS, we set up a new team, Global Gas Solutions, a couple of years ago, also to respond to the need for the industry to get this support. We have a team of industry specialists with very diversified backgrounds that really can support our client projects, not only from the rule perspective, but also from the operational and design perspective. Yeah, the key developments in LNG has really been focusing on finding a way to transfer what is a land-based technology to an offshore environment. A lot of work had to be done in order to validate the concepts, to validate the equipments, and also to be able to move that to a smaller footprint. I think a couple of pioneering companies have been working on these designs. Petrobras has had extensive feats going on. Shell has been paving the way. Some smaller companies like FLNG were pioneers as well in trying to come to the more rational solutions that would fit an offshore environment. And I think a lot of important work has been done there that has made it easier to get this industry accepting the concept of floating LNG.